I'm Graham Henry,
And I'm Annette Henry.
and we are otherwise known as Henry and Henry. So, who are we? What do we do?
Well, do you think we should maybe start with how we ever got to know each other?
That's probably a pretty good starting point, isn't it?
Yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah. Okay. So Annette and I met around about 30 years as students in Germany.
We did, yeah. We both had a year abroad at a German university, which happened to be the same university, and became friends. And we were friends for a long, long time. But it was a bit sporadic, wasn't it? Because we were travelling abroad ourselves individually, and so we stayed in touch, but loosely, for all those years. And then suddenly, I don't know if anybody remembers Friends Reunited. It's not there anymore. But somebody got in touch with me. That was Graham, and we reignited this friendship rather more than it had been the case up to that point. And long story short, we're now married.
Yeah. So that was about 8 years ago. Getting on for 8 years ago. In a very short time. So we've actually both made significant changes in our lives as well, and that's one of the things that's inspired us to do what we do today. So, Annette, what is it that you'd like to say? What's your story?
Well, my story is that having had absolutely zero interest in health and only interest in food in the context of when my next meal was going to be on the table, I ended up with a condition known as endometriosis, and which many people have heard of. I hadn't until I had it, and I underwent a major surgery at the time because the hospital I was living near to didn't have anything more sophisticated, such as keyhole surgery. And as it came back, as chronic conditions often do, I was faced with the option of more surgery, or it was kind of down to me. This wasn't the way it was presented, but I took it that way, and again, cutting a long story short, I went for a nutritional route. I saw a book that said healing endometriosis through nutrition, and I never looked back. It did everything I wanted it to, unbelievably to me, and I suddenly became absolutely fascinated by nutrition, the power of food, learning new things, relearning biology. It was absolutely superb, and this was about 15 years ago. So quite a bit before we got together again.
So that was really quite an important kind of development for Annette that had a big influence on me as well, because when we got together all those years ago, when we got married, I was actually a much bigger version of myself. I was around about 18 stone, over 110 kilos, and I was on high blood pressure medication. I had been on statin drugs for high cholesterol, and I was at a point in my life where mid-40s, late 40s, I was kind of thinking, I really should do something about this, but I didn't actually know what to do. When I got together with Annette, I kind of started to really adopt the same sort of diet that Annette was eating at the time, and it made a huge difference. I gradually lost the weight.
Shrinking difference.
I gradually lost the weight over a period of probably 2-3 years. I didn't feel like I was on a diet, but I just gradually lost the weight to such a point that I actually got to around about 11.5 stone, about 72, 73 kilos. And I also came off blood pressure medication, so I'm actually on no medication at the moment. So that really inspired me to want to actually spread the message and to help others that might be interested in adopting a nutritional route to making themselves well. So that really underpins everything we're about.
But we're not nutritionists, although we've learned so much. In fact, I've been immersing myself in this for far longer now than I ever did for my degree course. However, we've never aimed to be nutritionists. It's not particularly what we want to do. What we really want to do is inspire people to get as excited about food as we do, and to feel that it's possible to make little changes and keep making those little changes and be enthused to make them, and maybe to learn a little bit more to trust intuition, because that gut feeling, we're starting to realise now that there's some science to underpin why we get that gut feeling. There's a lot we do know, and it's self-perpetuating. The more we do what's right for our bodies, the better our bodies respond and tell us what they need. And so life becomes a little bit easier. There is a hurdle to overcome, perhaps, in some cases, but we can do that.
So one of the things that's really important to us as well is to make things accessible and easily understandable for people. There's a lot of research out there, a lot of very scientific research, which people think they can't take it all on board. We want to actually kind of distill our own learnings and what we read, what we've researched, and make it accessible to people, accessible to you, so that you can actually then make your own choices. So we could talk about a whole lot more now, but we don't want you to get bored. And really, all I would say is if you want to check out more about us, about our talks and classes, then we have a Facebook presence. We're on Facebook at Henry and Henry. We also have a page called The Power of Natural Food, and we have a page called The Power of Awareness. So if you get the chance and are interested to look at more, then we'd love to see you there.
Connect with us, please do.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.